Good morning and welcome to Carlton Cornwall Bowls in Auckland for the first day of finals here at the Summerset National Singles and Pairs. I'm Brenton Vannisselroy alongside Kevin Hickland. We will bring you the first quarter final between Taylor Bruce and Mandy Boyd, and we are already underway. 3-2 Taylor Bruce on the first end, and I think Mandy Boyd has just picked up 1 on the second. So Taylor Bruce 3 leading Mandy Boyd 1 in the race to 21, and very much, Kevin Hickland, the feature quarterfinal in the women's singles.
No question, and good morning, Brenton. We've got the two form players here playing in this quarterfinal. Of course, Taylor Bruce, part of the New Zealand squad, and already been runner-up in the New Zealand singles on 2 occasions and won 2 New Zealand fours titles. Mandy Boyd, of course, the 30-year-old out of the Elmwood Club in Christchurch, winner of 7 New Zealand titles. So certainly, and a winner of the Glasgow, of course, bronze medal at the Games in Glasgow, and New Zealand in the Games of 2018. So certainly, no disrespect to the others, but this is certainly this will be a real tough battle, this one for sure. 2 of the best players going around.
Yeah, contrasting paths to get to this stage as well. Taylor Bruce, an absolutely epic game in the round of 16 yesterday. Beat Lisa Parlane of Takapuna 21-20 in a thriller that went down to the wire. Mandy Boyd absolutely rolled through post-section play yesterday. 21-5 over Diane Patterson of Wanganui in the round of 16. And the only player, I think, to reach double digits against her was Helen Blick in the round of 64. So very comprehensive for Mandy Boyd. And, of course, these 2 players representing Canterbury clubs, Taylor Bruce of Burnside, Mandy Boyd of Elmwood Park. They are in their club colours. Mandy Boyd, formerly of Burnside. They know each other very, very well. And, in fact, they'll meet in the Canterbury women's singles final later this month. So Canterbury's best on show here at the Summerset National Singles and Pairs.
That game yesterday, Brendan, the Lisa Parlane game against Taylor Bruce went right down to the last bowl. In fact, Taylor Bruce drew the shot right to the ditch board with her last bowl to get to 21 when it was all locked up at 20 all. Fantastic game as we see Taylor Bruce just come down and sit the Mandy Boyd shot bowl out. The Maniatoto green here at Carlton is running around 17 seconds this morning. The greenkeeper gave me the information just before the start of play, and he's pretty confident that it will sit around 17 seconds for most of the day. So certainly great conditions, very little wind, a wee bit of a breeze. But look at the flag, the Carlton Cornwall flag, just blowing a zephyr of a breeze as we see Mandy Boyd on the hunt for the shot bowl.
And just missed the target, you can tell from her reaction. So still holding shot. Taylor Bruce, 3-1 the score. Taylor Bruce leading Mandy Boyd.
Very deliberate player. Taylor Bruce, they really contrast the different people on the mat as well, aren't they, Brenton? You know, like Mandy Boyd, I'm not saying an aggressive player, but she certainly gets into her work very, very quickly. Taylor Bruce really studies her position on the mat before she delivers her bowl. Whereas that Mandy Boyd, she seems to make her mind up fairly quickly of what she's going to do. We just saw she attacked the head with her 3rd bowl.
I'd be very surprised if she doesn't see another attacking play here. Yeah, renowned as a skip, of course, in 4s, triples. Here she comes, Mandy Boyd. And this time she gets the shot bowl out. Also knocked her back bowl out. And has it changed the situation, or is it still 1 to Taylor Bruce? Difficult to tell from that angle.
Just looking on the monitor here, Brendan, quickly, it does seem to favour the Taylor Bruce bowl.
It's more level with the jack, isn't it?
It's jack level. Then you look at on that other angle of the monitor and it looks different again. So we'll just wait and see what happens after this bowl and let the players decide.
Yeah, you'd think Taylor Bruce would be able to draw within that anyway. A wayward 3rd bowl from the Blackjack International. Here she comes on that backhand side. Very deliberate, as you say, Kevin, on the mat. Now looking to just draw inside that jack level bowl. She's just going to go past it. So that hasn't changed the situation. Now we'll see what the marker, Alan Lockie, one of the club members here at Carlton Cornwall doing the honours, says. I think that the players might have to have a bit of a measure. No, they don't. Now the marker goes up. One more to Mandy Boyd. So that's now 3-2, excuse me. Taylor Bruce leading Mandy Boyd. 3-2, Taylor Bruce leading Mandy Boyd.
And of course, no time limit with these games as well.
No.
This morning, Brenton, these quarterfinals, whereas they were playing time limits previously, as the men's pairs are playing here. But in the women's singles, no time limit, and the race to 21. And of course, after this, we'll have the semi-final of the women's singles, and then later on this afternoon, we'll have the final of the women's singles.
Yeah, so a full day of action here on Sky Sport next. So around 11:30, we expect to bring you the semi-final in the women's singles, and then of course the final round 2:30. So make sure you do stay with us here on Sky Sport next as we bring you the first day of finals at these Summerset National Singles and Pairs. As you see Mandy Boyd give away the jack as it went into the ditch. So now Taylor Bruce getting the honour of dictating the length. Gone for a bit of a mid-range length there with the jack. Mandy Boyd will still get us underway this fourth end in this race to 21. Apologies about the score, but it is Taylor Bruce who is leading Mandy Boyd 3-2. Bruce leading Mandy Boyd 3-2 in this race to 21.
The greenkeeper done a wonderful job here marking the greens out. Certainly very bold markings in the where you can see exactly where the jack's been delivered to. You get an idea what the length is. We see Taylor Bruce, the 26-year-old, of course, was named as part of the New Zealand side for the World Bowls, which was put off with the COVID. Very good opening bowl from Mandy Boyd. Just sits lower the jack, virtually right in front of it, and a good reply from Mandy Boyd. Just sits a couple of feet lower the jack, but a great opening bowl by the Mandy Boyd with her first bowl.
We'll endeavour to keep you up to date with the other women's singles quarterfinals as well, all taking place here at Carlton Cornwall. We have two Carlton Cornwall players, in fact, in action. Linda Ralph up against Rima Strickland of Greylin, and also Karen Hemmer up against Nicole Toomey of Victoria down in Wellington. And the other quarterfinal, Patricia Murray of the Kensington Club up in Whangarei up against Connie Matheson of the Takapuna Club on the North Shore here in Auckland.
So great second bowl as well by Mandy Boyd, just drew inside her own, and has got two now sitting pretty adjacent to the jack, and the purple bowl or mauve bowl you can see of Taylor Bruce's sitting right on the centre line at 2 feet lower the jack, and the grey coloured bowls Mandy Boyd's, as we see now Taylor Bruce coming down on her forehand trying to reach to where those bowls are. Certainly just questions that line, going to get under it, it's going to run into her own bowl, turn it over. No, just feathers the bowl. So it's still Boyd holding two shots after she's drawn those two wonderful shots on the backhand.
Yeah, looking to attack that time, Taylor Bruce. Had no real option left to her, very small margin to try and draw into. Mandy Boyd will look to try and make it even more difficult for Taylor Bruce here. Urging this one on. And another great bowl. That's the third for Boyd.
Of course, the difficulty now for Taylor Bruce is her target is actually reduced to playing to that Mandy Boyd bowl in the top of the triangle there, and it's whether they can play with enough weight to get the bowl to move back towards the centre line. Three superb bowls. We may see Taylor Bruce actually change to the backhand, follow Taylor Bruce's line. There is a port down there slightly on that backhand side. Brenton just passed her own bowl, and it is what Taylor Bruce has elected to do, to go to the backhand to try and get down to follow that line of which Mandy Boyd played.
Attacking again is Bruce. Looks under the head. Played with it right weight to attack. Must say it's not really her natural game, Taylor Bruce. Great draw bowler. But when you compare the strengths of the two, you'd say Mandy Boyd, that the stronger attacking player, given all of her experience as a skip.
certainly good, as you rightly say, remembering that Mandy Boyd has won 5 New Zealand Fours titles, and 4 of those she's actually been skipping, and she's won 2 New Zealand Pairs titles, both skipping, and of course that Commonwealth Games gold medal was also skipping, so it's got a full bag of shots for sure. And I think we'll see Boyd try and get past the head, because no doubt we'll see Taylor Bruce trying to play with weight again on that backhand as we watch this bowl of Mandy Boyd's, as we thought, just coming back down towards just past the 2 metre mark, sitting virtually right on the centre line. Very well positioned bowl there by Mandy Boyd. If that jack moves.
Yeah, great covering bowl from the former New Zealand international. As Taylor Bruce taking a long look at the head here, seeing what she can do. Doesn't have too many options open to her. She's going to have to play with weight and hope for a bit of fortune, really, because, like you say, I think she has to land on that front Boyd bowl and then hope that she gets a bit of luck and maybe knocks away one, potentially, obviously, all of the Boyd bowls from the head.
Well, really, we're playing the third bowl on that backhand runner, Brennan. She's more than likely committed to play that same line and weight to get, just perhaps a wee bit more weight to get that hook into the head, or to get to her own mauve bowl, which sits in front of the head. And that's what Taylor Bruce is doing. Going to play down on that backhand.
Mark O'Connor, the president of Bowls New Zealand, sitting alongside Mandy Boyd.
Line this time, is it?
May cut the count to 2. In the area, landed on her front bowl, did Taylor Bruce.
It was virtually the only shot, Brennan, that was really available to Taylor Bruce on that occasion, wasn't it? And it wasn't far away, only more than likely 1 bowl away from getting a perfect result.
So she cut one out, did Taylor Bruce, so it's 2 to Mandy Boyd, so 4-3 Mandy Boyd, now leading Taylor Bruce in this race to 21. Women's singles quarterfinal here at the Summerset National Singles and Pairs at Carlton Cornwall in Auckland. So Taylor Bruce, after picking up 3 on the opening end. Mandy Boyd has won the last 3 ends, picking up a couple of singles, and now a couple on the 4th end to now lead Taylor Bruce 4-3 in the race to 21.
So we'll see. Mandy Boyd has just moved the mat up slightly and delivered the jack right to the 2 metre mark and draws a touch-up. Just moves the jack off the 2 metre mark, and the bowl just nestles in behind the jack. Another very good opening bowl from Mandy Boyd.
Yeah, at some stage I'll make my way around the boards to keep us updated on the other women's singles quarterfinals. Linda Ralph against Rema Strickland, an all-Auckland affair. Karen Hemmer against Nicole Toomey. Carlton Cornwall player Hemmer up against Nicole Toomey, of course, out of the Wellington region, representing the Victoria Club. And then Patricia Murray from Northland, Kensington Club, up against Connie Matheson from North Harbour's Takapuna.
So another good second bowl from Mandy Boyd, just sitting alongside what is a shot. As we see now Taylor Bruce following down on the forehand side, looking deliberately at it. Is it going to get down to where the jack is? It's on a good line, but just going to duck away under the head. More than likely needed another yard of weight. You can see clearly now the jack's been moved off that 2 metre mark. And the 2 bowls of Mandy Boyd's sitting very adjacent to the jack.
So it's been a tight start to this women's singles quarter-final. We expect it to continue. 2 top quality players. One a current New Zealand international in Taylor Bruce. One a former international, Mandy Boyd. And no doubt if she wanted to play for New Zealand, would still be playing for New Zealand. as Kevin mentioned at the top, 7-time national champion, but not in the singles. Both players chasing their maiden singles title. We'll have a first-time champion. In fact, no players left in the draw have won the women's singles title.
It's interesting, Brendan, I can't remember what year it was, but it was here at Carlton Cornwall Club where Mandy Boyd played in the final of all 3 events with a sister in the pairs, and I can't remember the composition, the fours side, but played in all 3 finals here at Auckland, the Auckland Nationals. So here now is Boyd on the backhand, holding the shot, gives it the hand pump there. I think she may have a wee bit too much weight, looking at her body language. It's breaking its way down towards the jack now. It's going to get contact, in fact, on the jack, and moves it out to the side. And 2 touches there, but of course it does leave the opportunity now for Taylor Bruce to come down, attacking to the jack with weight to try and either dislodge the bowls or to get the jack into the ditch. So here is now Bruce on the mat. Play on her backhand. Not attacking with the weight that I thought that would attack to that jack. It's going to come back far enough to the centre line. Just goes by on the draw.
It wasn't a bad effort, but it's going to be another good end for Mandy Boyd. Looks to have collected 3, indicated by our marker Alan Lockie, and confirmed. So 3 more for Mandy Boyd. So it's now 3-7. Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce. And it has been all Mandy Boyd since the first end when Taylor Bruce picked up that 3.
Certainly has 2 singles, a 2 and a 3, and very picturesque surrounding here where the Carlton Cornwall Club is based, right in the park area here, in the Green Lane area, and lovely bushy tree area in behind Alexandra Park, and beautiful setting here, Brenton, is it, 3 greens. It's it's an idyllic setting here, real park-like environment.
Yeah, it certainly is, and seemed to escape the worst of the weather on the opening day of these Summerset Nationals as well, as we saw torrential rain flood some of the greens just a few kilometres away. Quite bizarre that you see greens in Sandringham, for those who know the Auckland area, not too far away at all from where we are in Carlton Cornwall. We can run there in about 10 minutes. And yet Carlton Cornwall, while we had the rain, certainly not the amount of it to flood the greens. Play was able to get completed here, but unfortunately not elsewhere. So that meant that all 120 women's singles players made it through to post-section play yesterday. So it made for a very busy day when there was further rain. We managed to get through all 4 rounds of post-section play to get to where we are now at the quarter-final stage with our last 8 women vying for this Summerset Nationals title.
Yeah, big kudos to the greenkeepers around Auckland, the Auckland and North Harbour area, Brendan, because they certainly had very, very trying conditions. You know, they were squeegeing the water off the greens continuously at like late or mid-east afternoon. In the men's pairs, I think it was 6 greens that they moved from natural surface greens to artificial surfaces around Auckland. So, yeah, a big. We're fortunate to be here, considering the weather that we had over the last 2 days. And Mandy Boyd, she's certainly continuing that form on the draw, leading 7-3, and has drawn her first 2 bowls very close and putting the pressure on Taylor Bruce right from the outset. And it does make a difference, because you know if you don't get there, you know, you see bowls, and a good bowl there from
Great
Taylor
response
Bruce,
by Bruce.
bowl, sat out on the shot bowl out. Her 2 mauve bowls you will see there, just sitting outside the centre line.
Oh, I mentioned earlier in the call, Kevin, about how good Mandy Boyd is with those weighted shots, but you can't underestimate how good she is as a draw bowler, and we saw that in bowls 3-5 on Sky Sport, didn't we? She's able to play all 3 positions, lead, 2 or skip with a plomb.
Well, here's Boyd going for that attack that we were talking about. Brandon, it didn't got the shot bowl, but just rolled it around the head, and now would be line 2 to Taylor Bruce. But as we spoke about before, not frightened as Mandy Boyd to straight away attack put the pressure back on the opposition to trying to, dislodge bowls, dislodge the jack. And she certainly has got an all-round game. Not so too has Taylor Bruce, but Mandy Boyd was well known for her attacking prowess, and we've seen it on many occasions.
Trying to put a bit of cover in perhaps here because she knows that Mandy Boyd's going to attack again. Probably wanted that to come a couple feet further behind the head, but that might be a pretty handy place depending on how Mandy Boyd goes here with her final bowl of this, the 6th end. Attacking again is Boyd.
Going for the jack, looks to be slightly outside that line, and
finds the gap. So looks like Bruce is holding a couple, and she's still got the final bowl, so she's got a chance to make it 3 here and to get right back in this contest. It's still early stages, of course. Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce 7-3.
So good chance here for Taylor Bruce to, after the last 4 ends, of course, not scoring. Great opportunity to rest back 3 shots here. It's not a fairly good line, just going to get inside the grey bowl of Mandy Boyd's, but looks like it's just going to
touch on the wide side, isn't it? So not quite going to be enough to come back and to grab another shot. So looks like 2, just waiting for the marker to confirm. Yes, 2 for Taylor Bruce. So Bruce now back on the board after scoring a 3 on the opening end, has picked up a 2 on the 6th end, and is now Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce 7-5. 7-5, Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce in this race to 21 women's singles quarterfinal. Maybe after this end, Kevin, I might head round the boards to bring us all up to date with the other women's singles quarterfinals. We had Linda Ralph from the Carlton Cornwall Club up against Rema Strickland of Grey Lynn. Karen Hemmer, also of the host club here, Carlton Cornwall, up against Nicole Toomey of Victoria and Wellington. Patricia Murray of the Kensington Club and Whangarei up against Connie Matheson of Takapuna on the North Shore. All, of course, in that race to 21, all vying for their maiden women's singles title.
So here was the chance for Taylor Bruce with her first bowl to really put that first bowl pressure onto Mandy Boyd. Fell short by about a metre, and Mandy Boyd will be certainly endeavouring to capitalise on that. Looks as though it's going to run inside that centre line and be short, and it is an interesting sideline here today, but I know it's the men's peers, which are not covering, but I'm sure it's something that doesn't happen very often. We have got grandfather, son and grandson all playing here in post-section play of the peers. We've got Neville Hill out here, who's playing with his grandson.
Oh, and, brilliant.
And of course, Jamie is playing here with
Lance Pascoe, yeah.
Mandy Boyd's partner. So the 3 of them are all here, are playing in the post-section play of the peers as we watch Taylor Bruce get a draw to the jack, move the jack back with a touch-up, sits very adjacent alongside the jack. Mandy Boyd now on her back end. So I don't think you see that very often, would you?
Absolutely not. And that's one of the wonderful things about this sport of bowls, that there's no age barrier, there's no age limit.
Certainly not.
It's absolutely fantastic that you can have things like that. The Hills, grandfather and grandson playing together. And maybe we'll see them take part in a triple one day, or maybe even a 4 at some stage. It'd be great to see.
Taylor Bruce now the opportunity, because Mandy Boyd, 2 Mandy Boyd bowls have come up short of the jack, and Taylor Bruce is certainly taking that full advantage and sits alongside the jack, draws him behind it, trailing 7-5, Boyd leading 7-5 in this race to 21. Mandy Boyd will certainly be wanting to make amends to get at least second shot following this bowl to the head. It's certainly on a wider line. How's the weight? Most likely be, I may not be second shot. No, it's not second shot. In fact, it's 2 to, still 2 to Taylor Bruce.
Yeah, you can see Mandy there urging that one on, wasn't she? She knew it needed to roll another foot to make it second shot.
She needed 2 more rolls out of that bowl to guarantee her second shot. So Taylor Bruce playing her last bowl, trying to make 3 of it. That very deliberate look. The 26-year-old Burnside club.
Yeah, all Canterbury affair this one. Burnside up against Elmwood Park. Mandy Boyd previously with Burnside. Now representing Elmwood Park, as we see in bowls 3-5 on Sky Sport as well. Beaten finalists was the Elmwood Park Saints, losing to the Stokes Valley Vipers. One of those members, Nicole Toomey, who was part of that champion side, is in action in the women's singles quarterfinals for Victoria.
Nicole Toomey was outstanding in that final, that bowls 3-5. Well, she played extremely well. So you watched that. Mandy Boyd trying to reduce the count. Looks to have a wee bit of weight on. Is it going to get inside that bowl for second shot? Needs to fall in, and it does.
Is it enough, though?
Not sure whether it's made it or not. There's one.
One's rolled away. Taylor Bruce having a little look at the situation. And just one, so that did cut out one. So it's now, 7-6. Mandy Boyd now leading Taylor Bruce in this race to 21 as Taylor Bruce picks up another one there. And I might make myself out to the boards, Kevin. Leave it to you for a couple of moments. So check what the scores are in these other women's singles quarterfinals.
So Brenton's out about the green, and he'll bring you those other quarterfinal updates as we see now Taylor Bruce make her way to the mat. Standing on the forehand, the jack's been delivered, trailing Mandy Boyd by 7-6 on the forehand, playing down towards the clubhouse here at the Carlton Cornwall Club. And we'll see the bowl now breaking down towards the centre line, 3/4 length head. Just going to go past, we'll finish on the centre line, sits right to the 2 metre mark. Green running at 17 seconds this morning. It's Maniatoto green here at the Carlton Cornwall Club, and will most likely stay around that pace for the day. Of course, also here on is 2 greens of post-section play of the men's pairs as well. At the end of play today, there'll be 8 left in the men's pairs. But today, it's all about the women's singles, as we see Mandy Boyd now on her backhand, just lower the jack on that backhand side, but would be shot still a good metre away from the jack. So here is now Taylor Bruce. That deliberate look as we watch the second bowl of Taylor Bruce coming towards that centre line. Just going to go by about a metre. So no doubt we'll see now Mandy Boyd will stay on that backhand side, just trying to beat her last bowl, get in that port between her bowl and the jack in the centre line. Certainly on a narrower line than what the first bowl was on that backhand side. It's coming back towards the centre line now. Just question where the weight's going to finish, and the weight's about a metre. Still lower the jack. Plenty of room now still for Taylor Bruce though to draw inside that bowl on that forehand side. It's counting now. Definitely 2 shots to Mandy Boyd. Leading 7-6 in the race, 2:21. So Brenton's just returning, and he'll update you on those other three other quarterfinal matches underway here as well.
Yeah, very tight in all 3 other women's singles quarterfinals. So very much nothing in these 4 games ongoing right now here at Carlton Cornwall. It is Carlton Cornwall's Linda Ralph, who is leading Rema Strickland of Greylands 6-5 in the race to 21. Nicole Toomey of the Victoria Club is leading Carlton Cornwall's Karen Hemmer 6-4. That's at rank 4. And on rank 2, it is Patricia Murray of the Kensington Club in Whangarei, who is leading Connie Matheson of Takapuna on the North Shore 5-4. So very tight, just 1 or 2 shots in all 4 of our quarterfinals ongoing. Our feature match, which we're bringing to you, though, your Canterbury affair between Mandy Boyd and Taylor Bruce, as we now play the 8th end.
And Mandy Boyd holding 2 shots. We saw Taylor Bruce change her hand to the backhand, and in fact just ran into what was one of the counting bowls of Taylor Bruce's and just moved it closer towards the jack as we watch this third bowl, which will run jack level at a metre on the jack level line. Taylor Bruce now with her last, trailing 7-6, will also come down no doubt on her backhand, trying to not sit the bowl but make sure she's got second shot. There is plenty of room outside the shot bowl. As we watch the Taylor Bruce bowl.
You can tell from her reaction there, unhappy with that, as it just slid past the target. She was interested till the very last moment. So, looks like it could be a big end for Mandy Boyd, especially if she can convert this final bowl to open up a bit of a lead.
So Boyd persisting on that backhand draw. Certainly on a good line to the jack. How far is it going on the right weight line? Coming right back to the centre line. And it will all depend, of course, there's that mauve bolt to the side. That'll be the... So there's two, that's three, so definitely looking at four now on the measure.
So has Mandy Boyd done enough with her last? You'd favour the Bruce bowl from our angle, just given that it's jack level, but that Mandy Boyd bowl almost getting back to the centre line. And clearly is close with the eye.
I think that was four.
Yeah. The lollipops went down pretty quickly. I wasn't able to catch them. 3 or 4. We'll wait and see the scoreboard change over. But I think you're right, Kevin. It was 4. So it's 11-6 now. Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce in this race to 21. Women's singles quarterfinal here at the Summerset Nationals at the Carlton Cornwall Club in Auckland. Good weather so far, and fingers crossed it stays like this. We have 3 rounds of women's singles women's singles action to get through. Of course, quarterfinals now, semi-finals to follow from around 11:30, and then our final from approximately 2:30. Well, we also have 4 rounds of post-section play in the men's pairs going here and also at Howick and Browns Bay.
The Taylor Bruce would have been disappointed with that end, really, Brendan, because scoring, she'd scored 2 ends, got back 2 ends in a row, and then really it was a very wayward end, really, and there was a lot of room even to get the second shot. So I've been disappointed with that, and of course opening the door now with scoring a 4, that 11-6, long way to go, but it's just psychologically, it's just, you'd be disappointed with how you handled that head, so you just got to put that behind you, nothing you can do about it, and just go bowl by bowl, and of course you don't run out of ends, you just run out of numbers, don't you, in this the race to 21.
Yeah, it's all about, and we've spoken about this many a time, Kevin, it's all about how you react after a big number like that. For Mandy Boyd, obviously she wants to follow it up, capitalise on that. For Taylor Bruce, she can't afford to drop another big number. She needs to bounce straight back and either pick up the shot herself or only concede a small number. Keep in range of Mandy Boyd.
And this is where the experience, like Mandy Boyd, she knows, she's played these games, she knows what to do, but she doesn't like this very first bowl. You could see the body language when the bowl was delivered. It wasn't going where she wanted it to go. We'll see in a moment where it sat, and there it is sitting. It's fine because it's in behind the head, sitting right underneath the number. The jack's just lower the 2 metre mark, so she may have thought it was going a bit quick, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's a pretty good opening bowl. No good being short.
It's funny, Mandy Boyd actually gave away the jack again on this end. It has happened a few times already in this contest.
Great response here from Taylor Bruce. Sits right on top of the jack, just lower the 2 metre mark. A toucher. See the marker now. He marked it with the spray-on chalk.
Obviously, the length she wanted, she got to place the jack and capitalising there.
And of course, the good thing as well for Taylor Bruce with that bowl, it fell over, so it sits flat in front of the jack, which just makes it that wee bit harder. Good response here though from Mandy Boyd. Sits jack level, only about 18 inches, and the the key thing is here for Mandy Boyd is that if the Taylor Bruce bowl is going to stay there, you only drop the one shot, and it's a good second shot, which Mandy Boyd has got there. And of course, she's also got the advantage of that back bowl sitting directly in on that centre line. So Taylor Bruce won't want to build a target up as well. So we know that Mandy Boyd won't be frightened to attack, and it's a good bowl from Mandy Boyd, from Taylor Bruce, gone over the head. So it covers that and just leaves a one-shot target there for Mandy Boyd, who I'm sure won't be attacking too. I don't think we'll see the attack here. I think we'll try and get another bowl on the head.
Yeah, there's plenty of room to try and access with the draw.
So Mandy Boyd leading 11-6 after picking.
She's playing with weight though, attacking the head, and she knocks the not just the shot bowl but the jack. The jack has gone into the ditch.
So we'll see where the markers go, and you'll see the white marker placed there by the. And that's it, because the Taylor Bruce bowl was a toucher. Yes.
Oh, it's just been placed into the ditch. There we go.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit strange.
Yeah, our marker unlucky, quickly realising his mistake there. So the toucher has been placed back in the ditch, so it's still live, as Kevin mentioned with that spray. Once that was a toucher, the spray goes on to indicate that it is a live bowl if it goes into the ditch. If it hadn't been a toucher, of course, it would have been taken off the green, out of play.
But it shows, Brendan, doesn't it, that attacking prowess that Mandy Boyd brings to the game. And she only had one bowl on the head, and still confidence. And now with that back bowl that we spoke about with her first bowl, more than likely lays a shot as we watch this bowler. Taylor Bruce is drawing
Not a
right
bad
down
effort
to the
here.
ditch board. That's a very good bowl to drawn right in front of that number with the white marker that you can see there.
Now does Mandy Boyd look to knock that out and hopefully sit?
Well, one wouldn't be surprised if she, 'cause it's a difficult draw shot. Wouldn't be surprised if she played with reaching weight to try and turn that bowl into the ditch. Of course, not being a toucher, it would then be dead. So Boyd on the backhand, on the draw.
Yeah, very difficult skill to do, to draw to the ditch.
It's a pretty bold attempt, though, isn't it?
Not a bad effort. It's not quite have the weight, is it? It wasn't
other way.
far away. And if it fell against the bias, it might have been a chance. Don't think it's going to, though. So Mandy Boyd does have one bowl remaining, of course.
11-6 to Mandy Boyd in the race to 21 after scoring a 4 on what was the 8th end. We'll see here what Taylor Bruce elects to do.
Does she look to knock away that Boyd bowl?
This is a good attempt as well. There's another good bowl from Taylor Bruce. Is going to sit past her own, sat outside.
Fell against the bias, which was handy as well, because I thought it might have been in danger of knocking her own out. It is 2 to Taylor Bruce. So 2 great bowls by the Blackjack International. So it's now 11-8 in this race to 21. Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce 11-8. Although Mandy Boyd wanted a bit of a measure here, so I think we're actually going to have a quick measure for the second. So certainly Bruce has got one, but Mandy Boyd a bit unsure about the second, wasn't willing to give that one away. So she's just doing a quick measure here. The 7-time national champ. Never in the singles though, 5 times in the fours, twice in the pairs. And confirming it is 2. Mandy Boyd, rightly so, didn't want to give that one away, wanted to have a quick check.
3 great bowls. We have 2 superb bowls from
Absolutely.
Taylor Bruce, and Mandy Boyd's response with her bowl was only one roll away more than likely of at least being second shot or possibly even shot. So well played by both of these players, as we see Taylor Bruce now delivering the jack. And it's interesting, isn't it, Brendan, we spoke about the length. So here now Taylor Bruce has delivered the jack. The mat's just about right back on the 2 metre mark from the delivery point, and the jack is just sitting below the 2 metre mark. So they've quickly shown, really, haven't they, of the preferred length that they want, that these two players want to play.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's all about trying to keep control of that jack and the mat so you can dictate the length that you want to play, which is so important.
Good opening bowl from Taylor Bruce. Burnside player sits just alongside the jack, and as Brenton said, neither one of these ladies have won a New Zealand singles title. Both played in finals, but haven't just quite got on top of the dais. So there's going to be one of these two that makes their way later today through to the top of the dais.
Yeah, and as far as national honours go, international honours go, these are the favourites, you would have said. When you looked at the last 8, it's a bit unfortunate, I suppose, for both of them that they're playing each other in the quarter-final, but that is how it has worked out. So really, you would fancy whoever wins this contest would be very much the favourite to take out this women's singles title. Of course, we'll still have a semi-final and a final to come today to decide that. There's no disrespect to the other 6 women involved, just the resume of these 2 bowlers, especially Mandy Boyd, 7-time national champion, Commonwealth Games bronze medalist, very fine player for one, still so young in the game.
Well, they'd certainly be the favourites of the TAP, wouldn't they, Brent? I think that's a fair assumption. And of course, the interesting thing about, of course, Mandy Boyd, with the retirement of Joe Edwards from the international scene, the great stalwart that Joe Edwards has been, there is really more than likely the opening opportunity for a back-end player in that New Zealand side, because Joe Edwards, besides playing the singles, of course, skipped the pairs, and Caitlin Lynch has been skipping the triples and the fours. So there is the opportunity somewhere in amongst the fold for the selectors where they need to find a Joe Edwards replacement, and preferably you'd be looking to want to get a back-end player to act in the skip role. But so a bit of work there for the selectors, and who knows what their intentions are, and who knows what Mandy Boyd's intentions are. Well,
absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, I think if Mandy Boyd wants to play for New Zealand, no doubt she'll be selected to play for New Zealand, such as her calibre as a player. It's just whether she can commit to it. It's obviously a big commitment, especially when she's got a young family.
And just moving from Christchurch to Wellington as well. So there's a lot of things to consider, isn't there, in these things, as Mandy Boyd now leading 11-8 with a very good bowl sitting right on the centre line. Another good bowl here from Boyd. She's going to touch the jack. In fact, sits right on top of the jack, pushes it forward, moves it out a few inches, and be one shot.
Yeah, wonderfully executed there. Didn't give much away with her expression on the mat, Mandy Boyd. In fact, something else caught her eye, I think, on one of the other rinks nearby. Touch it from the 7-time national champ. Taylor Bruce's reply, again on the backhand side. That deliberate stance, holds the delivery arm up.
Good bowl
till
here.
the bowls reach the head. And what a response that was from Taylor Bruce.
I just wonder whether we're going to see now Mandy Boyd endeavouring, I don't want to lose her own bowl. I'd be surprised to see Mandy Boyd with a yard of weight to get down to what is the shot bowl. And exactly that's what Mandy Boyd's doing, trying to get to the mauve bowl of Taylor Bruce's, gets the front.
Almost got a bit of luck there and knocked out the shot bowl. But wasn't to be, as she was narrow with that attempted drive. So should be 1 to Taylor Bruce. Confirmation. One more to the Burnside player. So now it's 11-9 in this race to 21. 11-9. Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce in this all-Canterbury affair. Elmwood Park player Mandy Boyd, formerly of Burnside, where Taylor Bruce has been a long-time player. The other matchups, we've got an all-Auckland game between Carlton and Cornwall. Of course, the host club here in Auckland up against Grey Lynn. We've got an Auckland-Wellington matchup. Another Carlton-Cornwall player and Karen Hemmer up against Nicole Toomey of Victoria. And then Northland up against North Harbour, and Kensington, the Whangarei up against it's Patricia Murray up against Connie Matheson of Takapuna.
It's interesting, the story about how Taylor Bruce got involved with bowls.
Yeah.
And of course Taylor Bruce's parents, both members of the Burnside Club, and the World Championships were being held and with Burnside as the headquarters in 2008, I think it was. And as a young teenager, young adolescent, went along with the parents to watch, and the Australian singles player at the time was the 18-year-old Kelsey Cottrell. And Taylor spent her time watching Kelsey Cottrell and said, right, well, I'm going to play this game and I want to be like Kelsey Cottrell. Ironically, years later at Burnside, they actually played in the final of the New Zealand singles. It was Kelsey Cottrell, who was born in New Zealand, and Kelsey Cottrell ran out to win it, defeating Taylor Bruce. And of course, since then as well, they have gone on to play one another in numerous disciplines in the international arena. So the World Championships, and Kelsey Cottrell was the sort of the driving force to get Taylor Bruce to take the game up.
Well, we can only hope that there are players who are here at Carlton Cornwall or the other host clubs of these Summerset National Singles and Pairs, or watching here on Sky Sport Next, who are likewise inspired to take up this wonderful game and be like a Taylor Bruce or a Mandy Boyd, two of New Zealand's very best, meeting here in the women's singles quarter-final.
So Mandy Boyd holding the shot. We can see the charcoaly coloured bowl of Mandy Boyd just sitting lower the jack. Taylor Bruce played two very short bowls. She'll be disappointed with those, and she'll be endeavouring to amend here. You see that. Watch Taylor Bruce now, stands behind the mat, very deliberate. Looks at where the arc of the bowl, the breaking point of the bowl. Always delivery, never changes. Very smooth delivery on that forehand. Got a better bowl with this one for sure. Breaking down towards the centre line now, and will be shot.
Great response, and much needed, as you mentioned, Kevin. Two short bowls, uncharacteristically well short of the target from Taylor Bruce. She responds with her third.
The very good thing about these particular greens here, Brenton, as well, it's a wee bit like you and I have been to watch them all play in Australia on those very consistent greens. These Carlton Cornwall greens, we watch the Mandy Boyd, she's going to sit the bowl out. She does, sits the Taylor Bruce
Great bowl.
So the greens run at a very consistent speed. So it started at 17 seconds today, will remain that way, and the surface is really, it's first class. So for the top players, it's a confidence green to play on, because you know if you take the right green, have the right weight, that you're going to finish up in the zone.
Yeah, it's certainly been a beautiful green. Times I have been here.
Hello, Bruce. See, equal to the occasion here, just runs short of the jack, asking the marker is Mandy Boyd, who's got shot. He indicated it's a measure.
That's great effort by Taylor Bruce. Mandy Boyd will have the final say, but she wants to have a quick look at the head first. So she puts her bowl down on the mat, and we'll now have a look at the situation at the head.
I think her thoughts are really is if I'm one down, I'm certainly going to play a different shot to the other options which are there, because definitely got 2 seconds. Her only danger on the attacking shot is if she got the inside of the bowl, ran onto the jack. The back bowl of Taylor Bruce's could come into play, so it just needs to be a wee bit careful of that. But
I think we'll be able to tell with the way she plays this whether she has got the shot or whether she's got a couple of seconds.
I'm pretty sure if she's one down, and Mandy Boyd's had a good look at the head, that I'm picking likely to see some weight into the shot to try and get to the Taylor Bruce. What is the measure? We don't know if it's the shot yet, but we'll know if it is the shot by the way how Mandy Boyd elects to play this, her last bowl.
Yeah, and the players have got pretty good eyes as well. She will have a fair indication, will Mandy Boyd, over whether she's got the shot or whether Taylor Bruce does. Playing with weight, looking to get rid of that Taylor Bruce bowl. Looks like it's a bit narrow. It's going to get rid of one of hers. No, it just it does get rid of one of hers. So have a little look at the situation here. There might be a measure. Obviously, Mandy Boyd wasn't 100% sure on who had it. But you could tell Mandy Boyd there trying to get rid of the Bruce bowl if she had. And at stage might have been able to pick up 3. Is it 1 to Boyd or is it 1 to Bruce? So measure will decide. And it is 1 to Taylor Bruce. So the margin tightens once more. It's now Mandy Boyd 11, leading Taylor Bruce 9. So just 2 shots between these two. In fact, 11-10, isn't it? 11-10.
11-10.
Yeah, excuse me. Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce after Taylor Bruce picked up a single on the previous end as well.
So we're seeing that consistency from Taylor Bruce with the jack delivering it right down towards the 2 metre mark, and the mat sitting further back, whereas with Mandy Boyd we're certainly seeing when Mandy Boyd delivers the jack that it's certainly a shorter reduced length. So we'll see Bruce now on her forehand, playing down towards the clubhouse here at Carlton Cornwall. And again, perfect green, comes right back to the centre line, sits just outside the 2 metre mark, so about a metre behind the jack. And it's also interesting that, Brenton, that Mandy Boyd's persisting on the backhand side, coming down towards the clubhouse. Taylor Bruce playing the forehand, so they've sorted out what hand as well that they see as their preferred hand. So we see this bowl of Mandy Boyd, which is also going to come back in towards that centre line, and then behind the jack and will be shot.
Yeah, beautiful conditions here. Barely a zephyr of breeze crossing the playing surface at Carlton Cornwall in Auckland. Probably temperature around 20 degrees, I'd say.
Good bowl here from Taylor Bruce's second, just slides by the jack and sits just in behind the jack on the backhand side of the rink at 2 foot behind the jack. So Mandy Boyd will of course stay on that backhand side, an open draw. And if we look, you're bringing to it that breeze earlier on, there was a bit of movement in that flag out in front of us, but now it's just sort of sitting just motionless, and so there's virtually no, in the trees around here there's very little movement at all, so perfect conditions.
Yeah, it's not a factor, the wind, that's for sure, and very pleasant to be playing out there. And the players, after what they've had to deal with the last couple of days, will no doubt be hoping that the rain stays away as well.
Yes, certainly had our fair share of it around the countryside, right from deep south to the north. But, had a couple of really trying days. Well, they got through the cricket. Well, they got through the cricket in Wellington yesterday. A few stoppages throughout the day, but they got there. As we see now, Mandy Boyd playing her third bowl, coming down towards the centre line on that backhand side of the green, with Taylor Bruce definitely holding the shot. It's going to sit just inside the line at will, and that'll be shot. Sits just lower the jack.
Yeah, great bowl that from the 7-time national champ out of the Elmwood Park Club. Taylor Bruce asking for a bit of assistance from Alan Lockie, the marker, just to know exactly how far away that bowl is, whether it's level or jack high. Taylor Bruce not quite satisfied with the information maybe she got back. She decides that she's going to have a little assessing of the head.
Well, the bowl's sitting,
see for herself.
The bowl's sitting slightly jack low, Brendan, but where it's sitting on that, it doesn't really affect her draw line greatly, mainly because it's got second shot just sitting outside. So you know, you're not going to do any damage. You're one down anyway. You just got to try and get inside that line. And if you get a touch on the jack, that's certainly going to favour you as well. So it doesn't really hinder her too greatly on that forehand side where Taylor Bruce has been playing. And you know, I just think in singles, it's really about consistency and confidence in a line that you find. And as to me, I would be trying to just stay on that forehand line, just sit inside it on the draw, and you know, get even a feather off the bowl will give you the same result. But we'll see what looks as though Bruce is going to elect to, still deliberating.
Yeah, long time looking at the head. Maybe still deciding now. I think she's made up her mind what she's going to play.
To me, that's the best percentage shot, staying on that forehand side where Taylor Bruce has already played 3 bowls.
Release hand will stay up until the bowl has hit the head. It has reached the head now. Wait to see the shot, see where it has ended up.
Looking for the body language. It looks as though it's still Mandy Boyd playing on the backhand on the draw. It would anyone to think that, yes, it is still you'll see the Taylor Bruce bowl actually finish slightly jacked level, but out wider of the head. There's Mandy Boyd now going to make 2 of it as it breaks towards the head.
No, it doesn't have enough. So Mandy Boyd picks up 1. So now Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce 12-10. Mandy Boyd 12, Taylor Bruce 10 in this race to 21. Women's singles quarterfinal here at the Summerset Nationals at the Carlton Cornwall Club in Auckland. Maybe after this end I'll head back around the boards to give an update on the other quarterfinals in progress here at Carlton Cornwall. We have 2 players from the host club, Linda Ralph and Karen Hemmer, in quarterfinal action. Last update I gave you, it was Ralph leading Rima Strickland from the Grey Lynn Club here in Auckland 6-5. Karen Hemmer was trailing Nicole Toomey of Victoria and Wellington 6-4. And it was Patricia Murray of the Kensington Club in Whangarei who was leading Connie Matheson of Takapuna on the North Shore 5-4. So very tight contests all around the greens. And I'll head back around the boards to bring you an update after the end of completion of what is the 13th end here of this women's singles quarterfinal between Mandy Boyd and Taylor Bruce.
Now, interesting that we'll see now that the jack, Mandy Boyd's
struggling with it today, isn't she?
Definitely struggling with that jack delivery, and this is the 3rd time now this has happened. And it was 2012, in fact, when Mandy Boyd lost the final of the singles here to Sandra Keith.
Right.
It was 2012. It was here at Carlton Cornwall.
So is that year she made the final of all 3? Did they lose all 3?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, wow.
The pairs was won by Genevieve Bowden and Jan Shirley. And the 4s, in fact, served me right, was won by Gail Melrose and her composite side from North Harbour.
Great memory, Kevin. I'm impressed. You don't have the 4s team in particular to be able to call on in the program there. You can look at the pairs and singles results, but not the 4s.
Yeah, it was, that was the year that Gail Melrose won the 4s.
Mandy Boyd won her first in 2011.
Playing with Sue Bernard of the Waikato, with her sister Angela, and Curry, Leanne Curry, who also went on, was played for the Blackjacks as well. Of course, the Boyd family come from a very, very strong indoor bowling environment in the Hawke's Bay. That's originally where they started. And of course, the other thing about Mandy Boyd and Taylor Bruce is they have come right through the secondary school program, the Kitty Hawks under 21, all the age group scenarios, all the age group events. So they've come right through from the early days of respective high schools. Taradale it was for Mandy Boyd, and I'm not sure what college that Taylor Bruce went to in Christchurch, but they all came through that secondary school system and onto the Kitty Hawk under 21s, and so they've certainly seen out. Taylor Bruce drawing the shot, just lower the jack. Of course, they've done battle numerous times, of course, in Canterbury over the years.
Yeah, and we'll do again before the month is done. So I suppose in some ways, for the Cantabs out there, a bit of a precursor to what will be the Canterbury Centre Women's Singles Final.
For the jack.
And gets it, slices it away to the right-hand side of the screen. Another toucher from Mandy Boyd. Playing with a little bit of weight and a bit of aggression to change the head. And now Taylor Bruce has got to have a bit of a think again.
Well, of course, playing with that wee bit of weight on these greens, your ball will hold up for a wee bit longer on this particular green compared to like some of the starweed greens here in Auckland. So you can play that mid-weight and they will hold up longer on the run into the jack compared to starweed. And as we've spoken about earlier, of course, Mandy Boyd's got a full array of shots and got the confidence to use them, and that it makes it difficult for the opposition as well, because you're not quite sure what shot they're going to play. Of course, this has made Taylor Bruce change a hand, but looks to be on reasonable line as the weight goes towards the jack now.
Oh, it's a very good effort from
for sure. And
Taylor Bruce, shot. Drawing to a very difficult part of the green, well away from that centre line. I was about to say that Taylor Bruce would certainly just for a game which is drawing back to that centre line time and time again. Very good draw player.
Well, that was the game yesterday against Lisa Parlane. That's virtually what was draw. There was some attacking shots in it, but in the main, it was draw. So you knew where your line was, you knew where your weight was, and, whereas this changes the whole thing around for you.
Yeah, you're able to get in that rhythm, aren't you? Just going back to that centre line time and time again, but Taylor Bruce doing very well to adapt to a difficult part. Weight played again from Mandy Boyd, as I think she tried to attack the shot bowl or the bowl itself, or the jack rather itself.
It's interesting. Mandy Boyd this morning on the radio on News Talk ZB said that she could be seen as a bit of a unusual player on the way how she goes about playing her game. You know, she's of the view, I think, well, I'm one down, can I draw the shot? Can I? It's about percentage, I think, is the thing, and backing her confidence in doing so.
Well, she's an aggressive player, and you don't get as many attacking players in the women's game as you do get in the men's. So that's probably what she's getting at, is that she's not as, you know, the usual, the archetypal women's singles player, and that's why she's had a lot of success in fours and in pairs in that skipping role. As Kevin mentioned, 6 of her 7 national titles have been in a skipping role, 4 in the fours, a couple with her sister Angela in the pairs. Yet to win a singles title though.
And they're teaming up here in the pairs as well, Angela. And see, here we're getting out Taylor Bruce. We've gone right back to the 2 metre mark straight away. And so it's so for Taylor Bruce's point of view, you know, this is important for her because she knows where her confidence line is. That's where this first bowl now is so important, to be able to capitalise and put pressure straight away.
Yeah, unfortunately with her first, hasn't got the weight or the line right. That's going to end up in the ditch. I'll make my way around the boards now. Kevin, just confirm the score. It is Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce 12-11. After Bruce picked up a single on the previous end, so Boyd 12, Bruce 11 in this race to 21. And I'll pop away for a few moments and leave you in the very capable hands of Kevin Hickland.
So 12-11 in the race to 21 to Mandy Boyd, 2 Cantabrians. As we see now, Mandy Boyd's first bowl just nestles in behind the jack. Jack right on the 2 metre mark, bowl right on the centre line. Very good opening bowl. So here now Taylor Bruce playing on her favoured forehand in the Burnside shirt. And Mandy Boyd in the Elmwood Park. So here is Taylor Bruce on her forehand, playing down towards the clubhouse here at Carlton Cornwall. Green running at around 17 seconds. Is on a good line. This bowl now as it just breaks towards the jack. Trying to sit inside the Mandy Boyd bowl. Does so. And in fact sits jack level. So we'll see Boyd will now get to her backhand. Try and get a touch on the jack or sit on that Taylor Bruce bowl. Tall figure, 30-year-old. Of course, New Zealand representative, Commonwealth Games bronze medalist in Glasgow. It's underlined on the green. It's going to go by the centre line. And still plenty of room now for Taylor Bruce on her forehand to come down past that very short bowl of Mandy Boyd. Get into that counting area, trailing 12-11 is Mandy Boyd in the race 221 in this feature quarter-final of the Summerset National Women's Singles. As we see Taylor Bruce now with her second bowl, definitely holding shot. In fact, ran into the very short bowl of Mandy Boyd. Should be disappointed with that. So we'll now see Boyd come back to that backhand side. One down on the head, and Brenton's just returned, and he can update you on those three other quarterfinals around the green.
Yeah, where the scores have opened up somewhat, Kevin. So it's now Linda Ralph of the Carlton Cornwall Club here, leading Rema Strickland of Greylin, also in Auckland, 14-7. That's on rank 3. On rank 4, it is Nicole Toomey of the Victoria Club in Wellington, who is leading Karen Hemmer of Carlton Cornwall, 11-7. And on rank number 2, it is Connie Matheson, who is now leading Patricia Murray of the Kensington Club in Whangarei. Connie Matheson of Takapuna leading 11-9. Those are the updates of the other 3 women's singles quarterfinals in progress, all here at Carlton Cornwall. Of course, our feature game, though, between the past and present New Zealand internationals, Mandy Boyd and Taylor Bruce, and is living up to all expectations. A very tight contest between 2 of New Zealand's very best. Mandy Boyd leading by a shot in this race to 21.
I'd be surprised, actually, Brenton, if someone got a breakaway in this game. I think both of the players are good enough in their own to be to control the game. I can't be surprised if there was a breakout as we. Taylor Bruce trying to get past her own front pole, doesn't do so. Knocks it, rolls it in towards the head, but won't be enough. Still 1-0-2. Taylor Bruce, you can see the mauve bowl sitting there. Now Mandy Boyd.
It looked like she's going to play with weight. I thought she had plenty of room to try and draw, but looks like she's going to play with weight. And here it comes.
Certainly.
Drive from Boyd.
They run under her own. Need some luck.
Yeah, got some. Yeah. Yeah, bit of a wry smile, I think, there from Boyd as she ran into her front bowl. That then went straight onto the jack, into the ditch it goes. So I believe she picked up possibly 3 there.
At least 2 for sure.
Yeah, at least 2.
Whether the other bowl went dead to the side.
It is 2, yeah. I think the bowl did not stay in the ditch, went out of the playing limits. So 2 more though for Mandy Boyd, and you got to say a bit of fortune going the 7-time national champ's way. So 14-11 the score now. Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce in this first 221 matchup, women's singles quarter-final day here at the Summerset National Singles and Pairs. We'll have a semi-final for you from around 11:30 this morning, and then from approximately 2:30 this afternoon it will be the women's singles final. And then tomorrow it will be all about the men's pairs, quarter-final, semi-final and final. Ideally, if we're able to get through 4 rounds of post-section play in the men's pairs today, and we have men's pairs games in progress here at Carlton Cornwall, also at the Howitt Club in East Auckland and Browns Bay on the North Shore.
So Mandy Boyd delivered the jack right to the 2-metre mark. Of course, that end with a bit of fortune. It was a 3-shot turnaround, really. 1 down on the head, turned to 2 up. So Mandy Boyd taken full advantage of that and sits right in behind the jacks, right on the 2-metre mark. It's a fantastic opening bowl from the Elmwood Park player.
It certainly is, showing that she's much more And just a player of those weighted shots. Great touch with the draw as well.
Just a small thing, Brendan, and it's, you go back and look at these games and you look at that first bowl consistency, and Mandy Boyd throughout this game has been able to get some pretty good first bowl consistency, and it does make a big difference. And you know, here we've seen Taylor Bruce's first bowl come up short, Mandy Boyd sitting right on top of the jack. So from bowl one, the pressure's, you know, the pressure's on. As we see this bowl, Mandy Boyd's again looks to have a wee bit more weight to slide by, and it will slide by towards the down past the 2 metre mark. And it's about having those, you know, as you and I have watched enough of the international bowls in Australia, Brendan, that it's making that effective bowls. It's really the key, isn't it?
Yeah, and also capitalising on those opportunities too.
Good response here from Taylor Bruce. Magnificent bowl from the Burnside
unfortunate
player.
as it falls out and Boyd's falls back down.
It was a superb bowl from Taylor Bruce, sat right on the shot bowl, and as Brenton said, just rolled out.
Yeah, if it had touched more weight, then that would have knocked the Boyd bowl out of the way. Unfortunate.
Of course,
But
Mandy
great
Boyd
effort.
now, she can sit on the Taylor Bruce bowl, which endeavouring to do. It's just going to run short of it, but in a good position.
Yeah, and you say about that first bowl consistency, which has probably gone Mandy Boyd's way, but Taylor Bruce has adapted very well when she has made, you know, a mistake like her first bowl was. She's made the adjustment well.
Absolutely, and like yesterday afternoon in that tense 20 all, when her third bowl went wide of the peg and was deemed dead, and then with under a metre to draw in with her last bowl, drew the shot. So, you know, a very, very, you know, mentally tough player now, and you know, she's right up there with the best for sure.
Yeah, winner of the Stoke Stakes as well, beating Joe Edwards in the final. Which is a great field for that Stoke event.
Oh, it's certainly, yeah, full marks to the Stoke Club. They certainly get together a very, very good field, both for their women's singles and the men's pairs, which unfortunately they lost out on that this year due to weather. But the women's singles certainly a class field. As we see now, Mandy Boyd daring to get another bolt into the head, but it's going to go wide of the scoring area and go down past the 2 metre mark towards the ditch. So will Taylor Bruce now endeavour to play with perhaps a yard more weight and try and get that sit and move it off what is the second shot bowl, which is Taylor Bruce's. Get a slide onto that and move it onto the jack.
Yeah, her reaction there would suggest that she just missed the target.
And you can see it there. Yeah, so a 1. In fact, it was the Taylor Bruce bowl that was the shot. Oh.
Wow, it's certainly the angle we had, it looked like that Mandy Boyd bowl still had enough to grab it, but no, it was Taylor Bruce's bowl, which was a wonderful bowl with her second after being well short with her first. Mandy Boyd's first was just in behind the jack, and Bruce doing obviously just enough to grab the shot. So 14-12 it is. Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce in this enthralling women's singles quarter-final, just as we expected, between two of New Zealand's very best, both out of Canterbury. Mandy Boyd representing Elmwood Park, Taylor Bruce representing Burnside. And these two will meet in the Canterbury Centre women's singles final at the end of the month as well.
A good opening bowl from Taylor Bruce with the jack virtually sitting on the 2 metre mark. A toucher from Taylor Bruce, just nestles in behind the jack, just under the 2 metre mark. Now, Mandy Boyd going away from her favoured backhand, following the Taylor Bruce forehand with that bowl sitting right on the jack. You can see that the hands moving there from Mandy Boyd. It's always a signal. How's the weight? As we see the bowl just go past the
Yeah, usually when she's tapping the thigh, it means she's trying to slow it down.
Correct.
That's her little give.
14-12. Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce. Taylor Bruce holding the shot, sitting right alongside the jack. We watch it. Second bowl coming down towards the centre line. It's going to be fall short. Of course, what this does, it straight away gets into the mind of Mandy Boyd. This is going to finish up an attacking shot on this end at some point.
Certainly will. Here it comes. Mandy Boyd playing with the extra weight.
Playing with reaching weight to get underneath that Taylor Bruce bowl. Is it going to get underneath it? No, it's outside it, but was playing, as we said, Brendan, with that ditch weight to try and get that narrow line down towards the jack.
Showing her intent there. There's Taylor Bruce, who holds the shot.
Taylor Bruce electing now to go to the backhand. This two's on a good line. Going to go past the centre line. Going to go past the Mandy Boyd bowl. It does what is the second shot, the back bowl of Mandy Boyd's.
Sorry? Yep.
Yeah, just fell out as well, so not able to grab the second there, Bruce.
So
Boyd play with that attacking weight again. Yes, she is.
Trying to get under the Taylor Bruce short bowl. This is a better line.
Yeah, looks in the area, and it does wonderfully. What a bowl that is from Mandy Boyd. So her first was just a bit wide. She made that exact judgment, knocks out the Taylor Bruce bowl, and Taylor Bruce decides, I want to have a look at the situation now, because all of a sudden, she's got nothing close.
Nothing close, and down looking at the head, really, the object is here. Draw the shot. There's a metre. There's not really a big scoring chance because the Taylor Bruce and Mandy Boyd bowls are locked on top of one another at the back, and it's going to mean, of course, that Taylor Bruce will elect to play on her backhand. Doesn't want to get tied up on that forehand side near her shortest bowl.
It's interesting there. I think Taylor Bruce almost decided, I'm just going to take a bit of a breather here, more so than actually looking at the head, because it's pretty obvious what the head is. You can pretty much see it from the mat. There's nothing really that close.
Not really.
But
no.
she's just decided, I'm just going to take a bit of a breather here. Obviously knows it's a very important stage of this contest. There's 2 shots between these two. Mandy Boyd 7 shots away from winning. Taylor Bruce 9.
And although that was certainly a very, very good shot by Mandy Boyd, as Brenton rightly said, there still leaves a good metre or so to be able to draw the shot. And as we thought, here is Taylor Bruce on her backhand, playing down towards the clubhouse. Breaks towards the head. How's that weight? Is it going to go past the bowl? Falls out. So now Mandy Boyd will most likely as well go back to the backhand side.
And we think Boyd's still holding 1.
Well, looking on the monitor there, it looks different again. So from the first view, it did certainly look like after the drive, and you saw that these go the hands from Mandy Boyd. Question who we always know that's got something to do with weight, but looks pretty good though, Brenton, as it breaks in towards the head now.
Looks like that's going to be enough for shot. Has she got second as well? You think this bowl right at the bottom, right, and on top of her name, the bottom of the screen should be the second. Yeah, looks like that is what is going to be confirmed. Wait and see the score flick over. And confirmation, it's 2 more for Mandy Boyd. So 16-12 it is. Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce, 16-12 in this women's singles quarter-final here at the Carlton Cornwall Club in Auckland. The first day of finals at the Summerset National Singles and Pairs. Beautiful weather. We hope it holds throughout the day. A couple more games to bring you. We've got a semi-final in the women's singles from 11:30, and then from around 2:30 we will also have a women's singles final for you. Obviously, approximate times, but make sure you stay with us here on Sky Sport Next. And just looking at a weather forecast, it looks like weather is going to be in our favour today. But with Auckland, Kevin, as we very much know with this city, yeah, you don't really know what you're going to get, and every suburb can be different.
Well, like yesterday, it was amazing because, you know, a kilometre away it's raining, then it's fine, and you know, there didn't really seem to be any consistency in the whole weather pattern. It was just coming from all over the place. Now again, I've seen Mandy Boyd lost the mat again.
Oh, that's at least 3 or 4
It's
times.
the fourth time
yeah,
now.
fourth.
Now this part of the game now, with that little buff of a lead, it's very important for her to be able to get that first bowl control, because, you know, this is the real clever part of the game now, to make sure that you can control it.
And important here for Taylor Bruce to capitalise as well.
Absolutely. So we'll see definitely that longer length, and as we predicted, that is the case.
Got too much? Is it going to stay up? Yeah, it has. So it's been placed on that 2 metre mark by our marker Alan Lockie here from the Carlton Cornwall Club. One of the volunteers that make this event possible. And we thank all of them for their hard work over the last couple of days in particular. In and out of all the rain and weather we've had in the Auckland North Harbour region.
So Mandy Boyd playing away from the clubhouse up towards the Alexandra Park end on a full length head. The jack sitting right down towards the 2 metre mark. Leading 16-12. And Bruce plays well on that forehand side. Good opening bowl, as you can see there, from Mandy Boyd, just sitting higher the jack, right on the centre line, just past the 2 metre mark. So very good opening bowl from Boyd. This looks a pretty good response as well from Taylor Bruce, but just going to go by with a wee bit of weight for sure. Certainly had the line.
I think it's just stayed up. You can see the marker go and grab a bowl. So it must still be on the surface from the ditch.
Andy Boyd again getting that first bowl adjacent to the jack. You can see a different body language from Boyd on this one. She must like this one, but looks to again have that same weight as the Taylor Bruce bowl. That was looked to be going down towards the ditch. No, just sits on. In fact, would count Brenton sitting there.
Yeah.
So you can see it clearly there on the 2 metre mark, right under the number 6. The jack sitting right on the T of the chalk line, indicating that's 2 metres.
That Bruce bowl there, showing that shade just in play. Now that might be enough for second shot. It's hard to tell. Of course, 2 bowls are in play, just below our picture.
So it's sitting jack level, just under a metre. Mandy Boyd very quickly into her work, and in fact is following this bowl. I haven't seen Mandy Boyd do that too often, but how far under the centre line is it going to run, Brendan? It's going to come short. Not sure whether, well, that may count.
Yeah, maybe enough for second though. Still plenty of room for Taylor Bruce to work into.
Well, the concentration really for Taylor Bruce is, let's make sure I get second shot with this bowl, and then a chance for shot with my last bowl. It's imperative she makes sure that she, and a great line here. This could well finish up the shot. It breaks towards the jack now, and was coming towards that centre line, but just pulls up short and falls over, falls back and not in. So would still be the Mandy Boyd bowl just below the 2 metre mark. It'll be shot.
Yeah, good second though, I think. Should be anyway. Taylor Bruce, third bowl. So now Mandy Boyd with her last of this 17th end. Of course, we play as many ends as it takes. So whoever gets to 21. So no limit.
And Mandy Boyd is going to fall under the line.
Disappointed with that one, Mandy Boyd. So shake her towel and is now leaning up against the scoreboard and behind the head.
So does Taylor Bruce attack what is most likely the shot bowl for a 3-shot opportunity? Only got to roll the bowl back twice and more than likely would hold 3 shots.
Or does she take the more conservative approach and just try and draw?
Been to have a look at it. Been down to the head.
Yeah, taking her time over this. No time limit as well for these contests, so there's no need to rush.
That's interesting.
Bit of movement, I think, on one of the rinks nearby, so just composing herself, Taylor Bruce.
That's interesting. Taylor Bruce has gone to the backhand with this bowl. So looking, doesn't like it by the body language off the mat.
Yeah, didn't hold her position like she usually would.
And is just going to run by on that backhand side outside the Mandy Boyd bowl, which we're sure is the shot.
They're going to have a little look at the situation. Nothing's gone up yet from the marker. And now they confirm one more to Mandy Boyd. So 17-12. She now leads Taylor Bruce, Mandy Boyd. In this race to 21, women's singles quarterfinal here at Carlton Cornwall in Auckland. Beautiful weather for what is the first day of finals at these Summerset National singles and pairs. Brenton Vinisroy and Kevin Hickland in commentary, as we will be all day. We will have a semi-final for you from around 11:30, final from around 2:30, and I might just head around the boards again, Kevin, and give us an update from the other 3 quarterfinals shortly.
So Jack's been delivered by Mandy Boyd right down to that 2-metre mark, with Mandy Boyd leading by 17 shots to 12, 17-12 to Mandy Boyd in the race to 21. And again, that very good first effective bowl just sits low of the Jack. And of course, sitting on 17, and need 4 to go out now. That's crunch point. And for Taylor Bruce's viewpoint, got to make sure that she scores the next couple of ends for sure, to make sure she's putting the pressure back on Mandy Boyd to try and bridge this gap. 17-12. 17-12 now. Mandy Boyd leading Taylor Bruce. So here is, so that the score that you can see there on the screen, it's actually 17-12. So here now is Taylor Bruce, and on that forehand draw, endeavouring to get down to the Mandy Boyd bowl. Just goes by the centre, that sits back towards the centre line. Sits half a metre in behind the Jack. Definitely Mandy Boyd holding one. You can see the grey bowl of Boyd sitting just alongside the Jack. 7 times New Zealand title holder, but never to have won the singles. And of course Taylor Bruce, winner of the New Zealand fours on 2 occasions, but also never to have won the women's singles. Both in fact have been beaten finalists. So this year in the national championships and the Summerset National Women's Singles, we're definitely going to see a first-time person crowned as the winner, which was later on this afternoon. So here is Taylor Bruce now trailing 17 shots to 12 on the forehand, trying to get down to what is the Mandy Boyd counting bowl, breaking down towards the head, towards the Jack. This is a wonderful response from Taylor Bruce. Gets a touch on the Jack, moves it round off the centre line, falls over. The bowl does, just falls in towards the head. You'll see the marker there, just putting the chalk on it. Still looks like 1 from our monitor here. Still looks like 1 to Mandy Boyd. So I'm sure we'll see Boyd now deliberating what she's going to play. I'm sure Mandy Boyd will stay on that backhand side. There's only a few inches in between what is the shot and second shot after Taylor Bruce got that touch on the Jack. Brenton's back with us and he'll be able to update everybody in those other 3 quarterfinals of the Summerset National Women's Singles here at the Carlton Cornwall Bowling Club.
Yeah, Linda Ralph on the verge of a place in the semi-finals. The Carlton Cornwall player is leading Rima Strickland of Grayland 19-10. That's on rink 3. On rink 4, Nicole Toomey in a commanding position against Karen Hemmer. Nicole Toomey of the Victoria Club up against Hemmer of Carlton Cornwall. It's 17-9, Toomey leading. And on rink number 2, it is Connie Matheson of Takapuna on the North Shore, who is leading Patricia Murray of Kensington and Whangarei 15-10. 15-10, Connie Matheson over Patricia Murray. So those have opened up somewhat as this one, as we reach the really closing stages of all 4 of our women's singles quarterfinals here at Carlton Cornwall.
Taylor Bruce standing, looking over the top of the head. Well, it's shot to play, limited on the backhand, but certainly on the forehand there's the option to get down to what we think is the shot bowl, which is the Mandy Boyd grey bowl, just sitting lower the jack. And was the Taylor Bruce mauve bowl is only a few inches away as well. So of course if Taylor Bruce can get a touch inside that bowl of Boyd's and move the jack, could well make 2 shots of it. Of course, it's always difficult for to try and make that. We think we're making the right judgment. The monitors can bring a different viewpoint to actually what's on the green. So
yeah, unfortunately for those who watched, of course, Bowl 3-5 on Sky Sport, we were able to have a camera right on top of the head, which gave us a very great indication, really just as good, if not better, than the players actually on the green themselves. Of course, our cameras are from behind the green, so angles are always slightly different.
So Taylor Bruce playing with weight to try and get to the Mandy Boyd bowl, went by, missed it, so that's obvious it is the Mandy Boyd bowl that is shot, and Boyd leading 17 shots to 12 in the race to 21. Now changing the hand is Mandy Boyd coming on that forehand side, won't want to move the jack, looks to come back towards that centre line, and is going to finish inside the line and lower the jack. So, but what it has done though, where it's finished, it has cut some of the vision line off for Taylor Bruce with that attacking shot to run down to try and get to the shot bowl. But again, here is Bruce on that forehand trying to attack to the shot bowl.
Needs to come up with something here.
Great attempt.
And not far away, but not going to be a counting bowl for Taylor Bruce. So one more to Mandy Boyd. We'll have confirmation. Yes, Mandy Boyd still has the mat and the jack. So 18-12 it is. 3 away is Mandy Boyd from a place in the semi-finals of the women's singles here at the Carlton Cornwall Club in Auckland.
Interesting, Brenton. If we go back to the 14th end, playing the 14th end, Mandy Boyd was leading 12-11. And on the next end is when Mandy Boyd got that fortuitous slide off the bowl and moved the jack back, scored 2. Taylor Bruce has only scored 1 more.
And Bruce was holding at that stage. So that was
a 3-shot turnaround there.
If she hadn't got that slice of luck, we would have been 12 all.
Correct.
And how different this game could have been. Of course, there's still hope for Taylor Bruce. She's not out of this yet.
But we
Seen
know
funnier things happen than this, haven't we?
We certainly have, but we know, Brendan, that we you know, when you look at some of these games, you'll see something that happens in a game that
big moment that was.
It's a big moment, and you know, that bit of luck. Just look at the scoring there, and you rightly say Taylor Bruce, of course, is still right in the game, but just that bit of fortuitous for Mandy Boyd. So here's Taylor Bruce now playing her first bowl away from the clubhouse here. No wind, perfect conditions. The sun's out. And both bowls, as you can see, around a metre short. Taylor Bruce bowl is actually shot. The Mandy Boyd bowl would be 1.5 metres short, leading 18-12.
And just glancing out the window, Kevin, as well, I think we have seen a completion of one of our women's singles quarterfinals. I can only assume Linda Ralph did go on to beat Rima Strickland, because that match is now completed. The update I gave you just moments ago, Linda Ralph of Carlton Cornwall was leading Rima Strickland of Greyland 19-10.
So Mandy Boyd with her second bowl, certainly with Taylor Bruce not able to capitalise on the opportunity, but Mandy Boyd has drawn, as you can see there on the monitor, just in front of the 2 metre mark, just alongside the jack. Very good second bowl from the Elmwood Park player. And we watch this bowl of Taylor Bruce is just going to slide past. We'll finish jack level at second shot. Good bowl there, 18-12. 18-12 it is to Mandy Boyd in the race 221, and I'm picking we'll see now Boyd go to the backhand, try it with her third bowl, try and sit on it. What is the second shot bowl? Watch stay now on the forehand, looks to just have a wee bit more weight on this. Her third bowl is just going to run by this bowl of Mandy Boyd. You'll see it came right back to the centre line, just below, just a metre past that of the 2 metre mark. So definitely one shot to Mandy Boyd at this point, leading 18-12.
And you may know the answer, Kevin, but I believe the winner of this will play Linda Ralph. Linda
Correct.
Ralph is in the top half as well.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So Linda Ralph, the first semi-finalist, awaits the winner of this contest between Mandy Boyd and Taylor Bruce.
Very good player, Linda Ralph, of course. 2 years ago, was the runner-up in the Stoke singles. The last time the Nationals were here, of course, played with Reen Stratford and was runner-up in the pairs against Lisa Prideaux and Val Smith.
I believe she's the reigning Auckland singles champ as well.
Certainly is. As we see, Taylor Bruce on the drive, got the shot bowl.
Wow, great drive that was from Taylor Bruce. A big moment again. Needed that.
So being outside the rink. So it's, of course, that end is deemed as killed.
End is killed, so we'll replay that end. Looks like they'll just come all the way down and carry their bowls back.
And Linda Ralph, of course, was part of that very, very successful Auckland women's side that won the last National Linda Centre here in Auckland. So Linda Ralph was part of that. Has also represented New Zealand in the UK in the carpets in the PBA, the Professional Bowls Association events. Has played over there as well at Potters in those world events. So a very, very, very accomplished player is Linda Ralph.
Yeah, that will certainly be a semi-final to watch. Potentially it'll be Nicole Toomey playing Connie Matheson in the other semi-final. They were leading their respective quarter-finals, but still room to go in those, and still chance for both Karen Hemmer against Nicole Toomey and Patricia Murray against Connie Matheson and their respective quarters.
This is amazing. Here we go again. It's right
Fifth
this time.
now, is it?
Yeah, it stayed up. They were just about to get the umpire, and they agreed. Or they haven't got the umpire. See Sue Rossiter now coming out to measure.
See if it's long enough.
And this would be the fifth time throughout this game where we've had the shorter mat length delivered by Mandy Boyd. So
it's Sue Rossiter, who is our chief umpire of the Summerset National Singles and Pairs. You'll know her if you watched coverage of Bowls 3-5 on Sky Sport as well. She's the International Technical Officer. And looks like it is. No, it's not the regulation length. So given away for a fifth time, Mandy Boyd. Well, I must say, it hasn't cost her so far in this match.
It hasn't, Brendan, but it should be. I'm sure Mandy Boyd would be annoyed with herself not being able to own the length, so to speak, that she really wants to play. And I remember you and I were doing one of the events in Australia, and we saw the New Zealand side wanted to play one length all the time. The Australians playing another length. So it's so important that you get that length that you can get essentially that first bowl effectiveness with. And that would be annoying Mandy Boyd. Well, not annoying her so much, but she'd just be frustrated. Now this is interesting. Taylor Bruce now has elected to play it really short
Yeah, I think it's just going to be fine regulation length because I think the mat's all the way back. So, yeah, very interesting. Taylor Bruce is really shaking things up here. You must say, Mandy Boyd, well, her strength has been, despite giving away the jack a number of times, her ability to adapt to whatever length Taylor Bruce has played has been wonderful. Can she do it now with a very short length end?
It's certainly very short, and certainly the shortest at that length that they've played, especially with the mat back at the conventional 2 metre mark, as we see the first bowl of Mandy Boyd's with good weight, but in fact just was wide of the jack. So here's the opportunity now for Taylor Bruce on that forehand to get that first bowl, get effectiveness with that first bowl, and draw as close as possible to the jack, trailing 18 shots to 12 in the race to 21. So Mandy Boyd on her forehand. And you can see the Taylor Bruce bowl just went by. It sits on the centre line. This bowl of Mandy Boyd's under the centre line, under green for sure, and goes by. So it's certainly seen with the first 3 bowls being in that, but it's definitely a different length that they haven't really sort of got on top of.
Yeah, no surprise, I suppose, given how different this length is. Whoever adapts the quicker, though, the chance to pick up a number potentially on this end. But is either player able to adapt quick enough? So,
of course, Taylor Bruce there under that centre line. So the objective for the main target for Mandy Boyd is to draw in between the jack level bowl to the jack, and that's the line that Mandy Boyd is playing now, as it now arcs back towards the centre line, and there's the shot for sure, and it's sit right in front of the jack.
It's going to be a second, I think, because Mandy Boyd was really holding shot with that jack level bowl. So holding a couple is Boyd. She requires 3 to win this contest, of course. It's not about the number of ends, it's about whoever is first to 21. This looks like a half decent response from Taylor Bruce. Is this going to be enough for a second? It might be too short. See if it changed the lollipops. Yeah, only one's gone up, I believe. So that was enough for a second.
That.
Enough for a second, sorry, Kevin. Talk over you. So Boyd holding 1 on this short length end. Playing her last. Taylor Bruce will have the final say on this, the 19th.
But gone on that narrow line, though, has Mandy Boyd. You could see halfway down that it was definitely going to finish under that jack line. Yeah, so will Taylor Bruce asking how far there is to draw, asking the marker.
Can you hold it in front of your shirt? Yeah. Thank you.
Bit of a laugh girls are having there. So I think Taylor Bruce, she could attack the shot bowl. I don't think so, though. And the way how her pose on the mat is on that forehand side, and endeavour to draw to what is the Boyd bowl, the shot bowl, which sits right in front of the jack. And as Brenton said, these 2 players are going to do battle again shortly in the final of the Canterbury singles. Great attempt here by Taylor Bruce. Finishes jack level. It won't be enough.
It won't be. So 1 more to Mandy Boyd. So she's now 2 away. Is the 7-time national champion from a place in the semi-finals. 19-12. She leads Taylor Bruce in this race to 21 on that replayed 19th end. Of course, it was killed the first time by Taylor Bruce.
So the pressure's really on now. The Burnside player, Taylor Bruce, got a very good demeanour on the green. Stays, just stays relaxed. Sticks to what her process. Nothing changes with her delivery. Always the same. Knows what she has to do. So here is now Mandy Boyd on the mat, playing down towards the clubhouse. The jack sitting pretty much down towards the 2 metre mark. On the backhand, trying to get the bowl to come back to the centre line, but it's a pretty good opening bowl. Brendan sitting jack level. It's pretty adjacent to the jack.
Yeah, it's that first bowl effectiveness that you talked about earlier, Kevin, which has been one of the strengths of Mandy Boyd in this contest. It's a real heavyweight contest between two of the very best in the women's game in this country, meeting each other in a quarter-final.
So here is now the Taylor Bruce bowl. Also a good line, just sits outside jack high towards that centre line, and you'll see there on the monitor just outside the 2 metre mark. But definitely the Mandy Boyd bowl shot.
Yeah, not much between those two. No, it'll be interesting. Obviously, from our viewpoint, it actually looks like the Taylor Bruce bowl, but you've got to favour the Boyd bowl because it's jack level. Looks pretty much jack level.
So we look at that monitor. It looks,
and then we've got no idea. From
no
that
idea at all. There's 2 bowls down there that are close, right? So Taylor Bruce now trying to make sure of it for us, but it needs to sit inside that the Mandy Boyd bowl, and that doesn't help either.
It could be shot, or it could be a second. Who knows? It's very close between all 3 of those bowls.
But Mandy Boyd again now on her backhand, leading 19 shots to 12. No, gone to the forehand, trying to get to her own bowl, but just going to go by and come back towards the centre line. This is a very strange end. So great chance here for Taylor Bruce to capitalise on this head.
If she can get rid of that Boyd bowl, which is level, then she would certainly have 3.
It requires 1 turn on the bowl. On the forehand is Taylor Bruce, the Burnside player. Looks to be on it. It's going to get all the way on that line. And again, it's going to fall out.
It's very close between all 4 of those bowls, isn't it? And from our angle, we can't make a definitive call. What is holding shot right now?
No. So Mandy Boyd again going back now to her forehand. Obviously not confident as well of who's got shot. Leading 19-12. And this needs to get underneath the tail. If it gets underneath this bowl, that'll make shot of it. Certainly does.
Gets a nice little touch off that Bruce bowl and runs right towards the jack. Bit of fortune for Mandy Boyd as she looks to close in.
Taylor Bruce going down to have a look at the head.
I was just trying to see if I could peer out the window, see if I could catch the marker to see, because if obviously Boyd could be holding 2 potentially
possibly
here, that could be game. So Taylor Bruce, is she confident that one of her purple bowls is the second? Because you'd want to be confident.
Well, it will make a big difference to what shot you actually play, and the difficulty is it's hard to get to what is actually, we know the shot bowl now, it's hard to get to that, and Taylor Bruce standing there, I see Sharon Sims sitting behind there, the New Zealand coach, and these are one of her, of course, squad members, Taylor Bruce, and you just see the line of those bowls being, it's very difficult to get to the bowl of Mandy Boyd's. So you've got to be confident you've got second shot. Otherwise, it's all over. You've got to play a good bowl here.
Yeah, massive bowl this from Taylor Bruce. Potentially, Mandy Boyd is holding game. She's certainly got 1. Does she have 2? Now, can Taylor Bruce grab the end for herself? The final bowl of this 20th end.
Well,
she's attacking. And she's missed the target. She's picked up the mat. Now we wait. Is it just 1? Are they shaking hands?
Well,
marker goes up.
1.
It is 1. So, 1 away. Now Mandy Boyd. 20-12. She leads in this women's singles quarter-final here at Carlton Cornwall in Auckland. In this race to 21. Linda Ralph awaits in the semi-finals from the host club, Carlton Cornwall. It looks like Nicole Toomey is continuing to lead. She's 18-13 up. Nicole Toomey of the Victoria Club over Karen Hemmer, also of Carlton Cornwall. And Connie Matheson, I believe, is leading Patricia Murray. Yes, Connie Matheson of Takapuna is leading Patricia Murray of Kensington, 16-12.
You're not going to believe this, are you, Brendan? But here we come again, the 6th time.
Well, of course I believe it, because we've seen it time and time again. I can tell you it's nothing like it was in the Auckland singles final for women at Remuera. After the lockdown, it was surreal. Both players couldn't keep the jack on the surface, and it was almost every end. The jack was given away not once but twice, so it was placed on the 2-metre mark time and time again.
So back it goes again for what is the 6th time now, where Mandy Boyd...
Don't expect it a player of Mandy Boyd's standing. Obviously, she doesn't lead that much, doesn't play singles that much.
Correct.
But still don't expect it from her.
But as you said before, even though she has lost the jack on 6 occasions, she hasn't been hurt, hasn't been really badly damaged by it.
We haven't marked down every time she's given away the jack as to whether she dropped shots on it or not, but majority of the time, just from the feel, it feels like she hasn't. It hasn't cost her, has it? And the fact that she's up by 8.
Well, you know, we've seen Taylor Bruce scored a 3 on the first end, and then 2 lots of 2, brace of 2s, and that's been singles. Other than that, you know, come back to that 14th end, that stroke of just that wee bit of good luck. As we've seen out, the Mandy Boyd bowl breaking in towards the head, coming back towards the centre line. Of course, only needs the 1 shot, hardest shot in the book to get as well. We don't run out of ends and we don't run out of time. It's just make sure you get into 21. And a number of times at nationals, all sorts of events, we have seen players come back from all sorts of numbers to...
It's the hardest one to get. The final shot is the hardest one to get in singles, that is for sure. Getting that 21st and final to win the match, as you mentioned, Kevin. And just here, a couple of years ago, Debbie White in the final of the women's singles up against Selena Goddard at the time, now Selena Smith. Doing just that, coming back from a big deficit.
Well, and that other great game,
Shannon McElroy's
George Fabry and Shannon McElroy game that you and I covered that game, I think, Brendan, and you know, that was an outstanding game. That was an absolutely outstanding singles game here at Carlton Cornwall in the semi-final. And so plenty of room here for Taylor Bruce. And looks to be on a good line now, coming towards the centre line. How's the weight going to be? Going to go by. So it is Mandy Boyd holding shot with a lot of room and leading by 20 shots to 12, wanting that elusive 1. Boyd on her forehand, and as Brendan said, the winner of this game will play Linda Ralph of Auckland, in fact her home club. And this is the effective bowl. This is the one that you want when you're on 21, on 20.
How far off is it?
Sits right on the centre line, right in front of the jack, and in a front bowl, not deliberate, but a front bowl as well, sitting right on the centre line.
Taylor Bruce just asking the Mark Allen Lockie, how far away is it? Because obviously she can't see the jack now, Taylor Bruce. Can I actually draw within that Mandy Boyd bowl or not?
That's your only option, Brendan, isn't it? The draw breaking its way back towards the centre line now. Is it going to get to the jack or just
too much weight? Just going to go in behind. Looks on a pretty decent line. So obviously if she could get the jack back, then bring it back to those 2 purple bowls, and that's going to be her option with the final bowl. So maybe Mandy Boyd will look to get one alongside these 2 purple bowls.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Brendan, we may see Mandy Boyd change her hand and get down to the cover spot of the 2 mauve bowls back there, which is really the only trail opportunity for Taylor Bruce. And as we predicted, Mandy Boyd is changing her hand now and going to that backhand side, and won't be one to go right near the head, be more than happy to make sure that this, her last bowl, sits down towards those two mauve bowls. And it's certainly on the wide side of there to get down to that line. Not going to run all the way. Hasn't got all the weight to get all the way down there. So
unable to execute as she would have wanted. He wanted to really cut down the option that if Taylor Bruce does play a great bowl, that she doesn't drop 3. But
correct.
Now that's a possibility. But Bruce still has to execute what would be a very good bowl. Andy Boyd holding game here. What can Taylor Bruce do? This final bowl of the 21st end.
It's on a pretty good line. It's on a very good line.
Not far away at all.
It's on a very good line.
And that's going to fall in towards the jack. And we are going to play another end here, ladies and gentlemen. Taylor Bruce stays in this women's singles quarterfinal. She grabs the shot from Mandy Boyd. And it's now Mandy Boyd 20, leading Taylor Bruce 13.
That was very well played by Mandy Boyd. Game over, game all done. The only 2 options were the dead draw. Only had about 7 to 8 inches to actually draw the shot, or a touch on the jack to where the 2 mauve bowls were sitting behind the head. But the 26-year-old Burnside player just got on that hand, drew the shot, and just sat inside what was the shot bowl to stay alive. Well played by Taylor Bruce.
Oh, it just shows that those big games that she had yesterday, especially that win over Lisa Parlane, those delivering in the crunch moments, has helped her here and showing her strength in those big moments too, whereas Mandy Boyd had it all her own way in post-section play yesterday. And in fact, this is the closest anyone's got to her.
Yeah, certainly. They were pretty convincing, weren't they, the numbers of the Mandy Boyd yesterday.
Yeah, only one of her 4 rivals managed to register double digits against her in her 4 post-section games yesterday, Mandy Boyd. So Taylor Bruce was in double digits relatively early. She was stuck on 12 for a while, but has now picked up that elusive 13th shot and has denied Mandy Boyd the win. Now can she continue to work, pick up end after end, make it really nervy times for Mandy Boyd, sitting 1 shot away from taking this women's singles quarterfinal.
First bowl of Taylor Bruce's sat right on the centre line, but was a good metre short, and really so too was the Mandy Boyd bowl. Better bowl here though from Taylor Bruce. Breaks towards the centre line. Going to run by a fraction, but will certainly half a metre it ran by, and we'll see Boyd stay on that backhand side. Just have to beat what is that wing bowl on that backhand side, and would certainly make shot of it. Green running at 17 seconds as we watch this bowl. It's going to come all the way around and finishes jack level. That would be shot, I would say. Brenton?
Was my last one about a...
Yeah, you'd think so.
Asking the marker, I think that's...
Yeah, given it's the jack level, the Bruce bowl was quite well short. Yeah, it certainly would favour that last bowl from Mandy Boyd. Bruce has plenty of room to
a lot of room
draw the shot,
yeah.
though. Her 3rd bowl.
On that forehand, a deliberate look. Yeah, it's going to get past to that centre line. No, it's not, and I don't think it's going to pull up short. Mandy Boyd, she'll be forced to go, and she is. She's playing on the forehand. Not going to get tangled up on any of the other bowls.
It's putting a lot of pressure again on her final bowl, Taylor
Certainly
Bruce.
Is. Boyd playing the 3rd on the forehand. Just watching this one. Looks to be, though, on that narrow side again. Under that centre line. So plenty of room here, really. If we go back to the last end where Mandy Boyd had the shot and Taylor Bruce only had a few inches, really, to draw the shot. And Taylor Bruce responded. Now
She has to draw something here, otherwise Mandy Boyd will not have to play her last.
she certainly won't.
She's holding Mandy Boyd. Final bowl of the end for Taylor Bruce. Boyd with 1 still to play if Bruce is able to draw close and draw the shot. So again, another Pressure bowl on the Burnside player.
Well, it's certainly got a better line, this bowl, Brendan. It's out on that natural arc, but it hasn't got the weight.
Is that enough? Mandy Boyd's asking the marker, is it enough? And she's going to come and have a look along with Taylor Bruce. Has Taylor Bruce done enough with that last bowl? I don't think so. You think that Mandy Boyd's wing bowl there is the shot? She's just going to have a look, and they shake hands, and that is Mandy Boyd. They embrace these two close competitors, both out of Canterbury, but it is Mandy Boyd who takes the honours this time. 21-13, the final score in this race to 21. Mandy Boyd, the 7-time national champion, but not in the singles. She's done it in the fours and in the pairs. Now through to face Linda Ralph of the Carlton Cornwall Club in the semi-finals later this morning. And really, apart from her inability sometimes with the jack, it was pretty comprehensive performance from Mandy Boyd.
Yes, it was really, Brendan, because to me there was two parts to it. Was that first bowl effectiveness that we spoke again, and Mandy Boyd was able to capitalise on that. And of course she picked up a 4. She only wanted to pick up a big number, picked up a 3 and a 4. But of course one of the real telling points in this game was that wee slice of luck which Mandy Boyd did have on the 14th end when she was one down on the head, ran at the head, got a feather on a bowl, ran the jack back and scored 2 shots. And from then on sort of got a good scoring spree. But overall, to be fair, if you talk about the consistency in the race to 21, Mandy Boyd, I think, held the upper hand in today's encounter. Although they played together against one another plenty of times, but today it was Mandy Boyd who really had control of the game.
Yes, this much anticipated quarterfinal matchup going the way of the Elmwood Park player Mandy Boyd. 21-13 over Taylor Bruce. She'll face Linda Ralph of Carlton Cornwall, who beat Rima Strickland of Grey Lynn in the first quarterfinal to be completed. And before we leave you, just a quick update from the other 2 quarterfinals is Nicole Toomey of the Victoria Club, who is leading Karen Hemmer of Carlton Cornwall here 18-16. That one on rink 4, and on rink 2 it is Connie Matheson of the Takapuna Club on the North Shore, who is leading Patricia Murray of Kensington in Whangarei 20-13. So she is one shot away, Connie Matheson, to advancing to the semi-finals of the Summerset National Singles and Pairs. But that's it for us now here at Carlton Cornwall. Join us from around 11:30 when we will have a semi-final of the women's singles for you. But that's us for now. Join us soon here on Sky Sport Next.